In the heart of Manchester, where brick buildings stood like weary sentinels and narrow streets whispered stories of countless struggles, Emma Williams fought her daily battle. The small, cramped apartment on Maple Street was more than just a living space, it was her battlefield of survival. Emma was 28, but her eyes carried the weariness of someone much older. Her son Tommy, just 9 years old, watched her with understanding beyond his years. Every morning, she would wake up before sunrise, prepare a simple breakfast of toast and instant coffee, and carefully pack Tommy's lunch. Her work wasn't glamorous. Mornings were spent cleaning offices downtown, afternoons at a local cafe, and evenings doing extra shifts at a convenience store. Each job paid barely enough to keep them afloat, but Emma never complained. Her determination was her most valuable asset. Tommy was her world. A bright-eyed boy with his father's curly hair and his mother's resilient spirit. He knew their life was different from other families. While his classmates talked about family vacations and new toys, Tommy understood the value of every penny. This particular morning was colder than usual. The heating in their apartment struggled, sending weak waves of warmth that did little to chase away the winter's bite. Emma's hands, rough from cleaning and constant work, trembled slightly as she sorted through their monthly bills. Rent, electricity, water, school supplies, food. Each bill was like a small mountain, threatening to crush their dreams. She had been saving every spare penny for Tommy's education, believing that knowledge was the ticket out of their current circumstances. "Mom," Tommy said softly, noticing her worried expression, "is everything okay?" Emma forced a smile. "Everything's fine, sweetheart. We always manage, don't we?" Her smile was her shield, her protection against the world's harsh realities. But behind that smile was a woman fighting an invisible war, a war against poverty, against societal expectations, against the system that made survival so challenging for single mothers. The old clock on the wall ticked away, marking each passing minute. Emma knew she had 30 minutes before she needed to leave for her morning cleaning job. She quickly ironed Tommy's school uniform, ensuring he always looked presentable, despite their limited resources. Tommy helped where he could. He understood the art of careful spending. His clothes were mostly hand-me-downs or carefully selected from second-hand stores. But he never felt poor. His mother had taught him that richness wasn't about money, but about heart, love, and determination. As Emma prepared to leave, she kissed Tommy's forehead. "Be good at school. Help your teachers. Learn everything you can." Tommy nodded, his backpack already packed, lunch carefully wrapped. He was more than just a child, he was his mother's partner in their life's journey. Outside, Manchester was waking up. Factory workers, office employees, delivery drivers, everyone was starting their day. Emma blended into this morning rhythm, another working-class hero navigating life's complicated maze. Her first job was cleaning a large office complex. The work was physical, demanding. Vacuum cleaners, mops, cleaning solutions, these were her tools of survival. Each clean floor, each polished surface represented not just a job, but a step towards their better future. During her lunch break, she would quickly calculate their expenses, always looking for ways to save. A few pounds here, a few pounds there, every saving counted. Her smartphone, an old model with a cracked screen, was her financial management tool. Tommy's school was her motivation. She wanted him to have opportunities she never had. Education was her weapon against the cycle of economic struggle. She wanted him to dream big, to understand that their current situation was temporary. As the day progressed, Emma moved between jobs with the precision of a carefully choreographed dance. Each movement, each task was a testament to her strength, her unwavering spirit. The world might see her as just another working-class woman, but Emma knew she was so much more. She was a dreamer, a fighter, a mother who would move mountains to give her son a better life. And so, another day in Manchester began, ordinary for many, but extraordinary in Emma's resilient journey. The letter arrived on a crisp Wednesday morning, its official envelope sitting heavily on the kitchen counter like an unexpected visitor. Emma's hands trembled as she opened it, her breath catching in her throat. Another final warning from the local community college: her dreams of completing her degree were slipping away like sand through her fingers. For years, education had been her silent dream. Late at night, after Tommy was asleep, she would browse online courses, imagining a world where she could become something more than just a cleaning worker. But time and money were never on her side. The community cafe where she worked evening shifts was more than just a workplace. It was a lifeline, a small sanctuary where she could earn extra money and interact with people beyond her daily routine. Jack, the manager, was different from most bosses she had encountered. He was kind, observant, with eyes that seemed to look beyond the surface. That evening, Emma's mood was different. The weight of the college letter pressed against her spirit. She moved between tables, refilling coffee cups, her movements mechanical. Jack noticed immediately. He had watched Emma for months, her hard work, her determination, the way she balanced work and motherhood. "Everything okay, Emma?" he asked during a quiet moment between customers. She hesitated. Emma wasn't used to sharing her struggles. Years of survival had taught her to keep her emotions locked tight. But something in Jack's gentle tone made her walls crumble. "Just another closed door," she said softly, explaining about the college warning and her fading educational dreams. Jack listened. Not with pity, but with genuine understanding. He knew Emma was different, a woman who carried strength in every movement, who approached life with quiet determination. "What if I told you there might be a way?" he said, his voice calm and deliberate. Emma looked up, hope flickering like a tiny candle in the darkness of her current circumstances. Jack explained about a local community program supporting working mothers who wanted to continue their education. Scholarships, flexible evening classes, support networks, possibilities she had never imagined. "But I'm already working 2 jobs, Emma said, doubt creeping into her voice. "Some opportunities are worth rearranging your entire life for," Jack responded. The cafe around them continued its rhythm, coffee machines humming, soft conversations, the occasional laugh. But for Emma, the world had momentarily stopped. A potential pathway was opening, something she had only dreamed about in her most private moments. Tommy was her first consideration. How would this impact him? But she also knew that by improving her own prospects, she would be creating a better future for her son. Education wasn't just about a certificate, it was about breaking cycles, creating opportunities. Jack shared contact details for the community program. He knew Emma would research every detail, verify every possibility. That was her nature, careful, methodical, never taking anything at face value. That night, after tucking Tommy into bed, Emma began her research. Application forms, requirement details, potential schedules, she approached it like a strategic mission. Her old laptop, with its slightly flickering screen, became her window of hope. Hours passed. The house was quiet except for the occasional sound of typing and the soft hum of the laptop. Emma was transforming from a tired worker into a determined student, rewriting her own narrative. She thought about her own mother, who had worked multiple jobs to support her family. She thought about Tommy, who deserved to see his mother chase her dreams. She thought about herself, a woman with untapped potential, ready to break through invisible barriers. The letter that seemed like a dead end was now becoming a turning point. One conversation, one moment of unexpected kindness from Jack, had shifted her entire perspective. As dawn began to break, casting soft light through the thin curtains, Emma completed her initial research. The path ahead was challenging, but for the first time in years, she felt something she had almost forgotten: hope. Tommy would wake soon. She would make his breakfast, iron his school uniform, and prepare for another day. But something was different. The world looked slightly brighter, filled with unexpected possibilities. The kitchen table transformed into Emma's battlefield of dreams. Surrounded by scattered papers, an old laptop, and a half-empty cup of cooling tea, she began her most important mission yet, the scholarship application. Tommy watched from the corner, his school books open, but his attention entirely on his mother. He understood this was more than just paperwork. This was their future taking shape. Each evening after work, Emma would dive into the application. The form seemed designed to challenge her. Endless questions about financial history, personal achievements, future goals. Each section felt like climbing a mountain with bare hands. Her fingers moved across the keyboard, telling a story far deeper than mere words. She wrote about working 2 jobs, about raising Tommy alone, about her dream of creating a better life. No fancy language, just raw, honest truth. The computer was old, sometimes freezing mid-sentence. But Emma was more stubborn than any temperamental machine. She would restart, copy her work, and continue. Her determination was a flame that refused to be extinguished. Jack from the cafe had given her additional guidance. "Be honest," he'd said. "Your story is your strength." Those words echoed in her mind with every paragraph she typed. Financial documents were her greatest challenge. Bank statements showing minimal savings, payslips revealing the constant struggle. Each document felt like exposing her vulnerabilities. But Emma knew vulnerability could also be powerful. Tommy would sometimes bring her cups of tea, his small hands carefully balancing the mug. "You can do this, Mom," he would say, his belief unwavering. Those moments kept her going when exhaustion threatened to overwhelm her. Late nights became her sanctuary. While the world slept, Emma crafted her application. The soft glow of the laptop, the occasional car passing outside, the distant sound of Manchester's night, these were her companions. She wrote about her dreams for Tommy. About wanting to show him that education could transform lives. About breaking the cycle of financial struggle. Each word was a promise, not just to herself, but to her son. The application asked about personal challenges. Emma didn't sugarcoat her experiences. She wrote about single motherhood, about working multiple jobs, about the constant balancing act between survival and dreaming. Her hands would sometimes shake. Memories of difficult times, unexpected bills, moments of near desperation would surface. But she would take a deep breath and continue writing. Tommy's school projects were pinned on the wall, a reminder of why she was doing this. His drawings, his school reports, his small achievements were her motivation. Every sacrifice was for him. The community college scholarship program wasn't just offering financial support. They were offering hope. A chance to reimagine her life, to create opportunities she had only dreamed about. Hours turned into days. The application took shape, becoming more than just a form. It was a testament to her resilience, her hope, her unwavering spirit. Jack had reviewed her initial draft, offering gentle suggestions. "Your honesty is your strongest asset," he reminded her. Those words became her guiding principle. On the final night, Emma read through her entire application. Each word, each sentence carried the weight of her journey. This wasn't just about getting a scholarship. This was about proving to herself and Tommy that dreams could become reality. Tommy had fallen asleep on the sofa, his school book still open. Emma looked at him, her sleeping child, her greatest motivation. Whatever the outcome, she had already achieved something remarkable. She had tried. With trembling hands, she clicked the submit button. The computer made a soft sound, confirming the submission. In that moment, everything seemed to pause. A mix of fear and hope filled the room. The application was out of her hands now. All she could do was wait, continue working, and believe. Outside, Manchester's night continued. Streets hummed with quiet energy. But inside this small apartment, something significant had just happened. A mother had dared to dream, a son had witnessed courage, and hope had found its home. The college board meeting room was quiet, filled with serious faces reviewing stacks of scholarship applications. Among them, Mrs. Elizabeth Roberts, the head of admissions, carefully examined each document. Her glasses perched on the edge of her nose, hands moving methodically through the papers. Emma's application was different. It wasn't just another form, but a story of survival, hope, and determination. As Mrs. Roberts read, her expression changed. The carefully crafted words revealed a mother's journey, raw, honest, powerful. Jack had secretly recommended Emma. During a casual conversation with one of the board members, he had spoken about her remarkable spirit. "She's not just looking for a handout," he had said. She's fighting for a better future. Weeks passed. Emma tried to continue her normal routine, pushing the application to the back of her mind. Between cleaning jobs, caring for Tommy, and evening cafe shifts, she had little time to worry. Tommy was her constant source of encouragement. "Mom, I know something good is coming," he would say, his belief unwavering. Children have a unique way of sensing hope, of believing when adults might doubt. The letter arrived on a crisp autumn morning. Emma's hands trembled as she opened the envelope. Official letterhead, official seal, everything looked serious and important. At first, she couldn't believe her eyes. A full scholarship. Not just partial support, but complete coverage of her educational expenses. The words seemed to dance on the page, changing her entire world with a simple official document. Tommy jumped around the kitchen, screaming with joy. "We did it, Mom! We did it!" His excitement was pure, unbridled happiness. Emma stood there, tears mixing with laughter, overwhelmed by the unexpected support. The scholarship wasn't just about money. It was validation. Proof that hard work, determination, and honest storytelling could break through barriers. Every late night, every difficult moment had led to this moment. Jack heard the news at the cafe. When Emma showed him the letter, his eyes sparkled with genuine happiness. "I always knew you could do it," he said, giving her a supportive hug. The college detailed additional support. Flexible evening classes, mentorship programs, financial guidance. They weren't just offering education, but a comprehensive pathway to success. Emma's mind raced with possibilities. She could improve her qualifications, create better job opportunities, provide a more stable future for Tommy. Education was no longer a distant dream but an approaching reality. Her colleagues at the cafe and cleaning jobs celebrated with her. They had watched her struggle, witnessed her determination. Now, they saw hope personified. The scholarship committee had been particularly moved by Emma's commitment to Tommy. Her application wasn't just about personal advancement but about creating a better life for her son. They saw a mother who was breaking generational cycles of limited opportunities. Mrs. Roberts, who had personally championed her application, believed Emma represented something larger. She was a symbol of resilience, of working-class mothers fighting against systemic challenges. Tommy couldn't stop talking about his mother's achievement. At school, he proudly told his friends about her scholarship. His young mind understood the significance of this moment, that education could transform lives. The financial relief was immediate. Emma could now reduce her work hours, focus more on studies, spend more quality time with Tommy. The constant stress of making ends meet would gradually reduce. Manchester, with its industrial history and working-class spirit, seemed to celebrate with her. Her story was another example of the city's resilient heart, ordinary people achieving extraordinary things through sheer determination. As evening approached, Emma sat with Tommy, the scholarship letter between them. They talked about dreams, about possibilities, about a future that suddenly looked brighter. "We're going to do amazing things," Emma told Tommy, hugging him tight. The world had opened a door. And they were ready to walk through it together. Their journey was just beginning. But for now, hope had found its home. The END 1 year had passed since that life-changing scholarship. The Manchester Community College campus buzzed with energy, students moving between classes, their futures stretching out before them like unwritten stories. Emma walked across the campus, textbooks tucked under her arm, her steps confident and purposeful. The woman who once cleaned offices now carried the identity of a student, a transformation that seemed almost magical. Tommy waited nearby, proud and excited. At 10 years old, he understood the significance of his mother's journey. He watched her, seeing not just a mother, but a hero who was rewriting their family's narrative. Her first semester had been challenging. Balancing studies, parenting, and part-time work required military-like precision. But Emma had become an expert at managing impossible schedules. Jack from the cafe had helped, adjusting her work hours to support her studies. The college professors were impressed by Emma. She wasn't just another student, she was a mature learner with real-world experience. Her assignments reflected not just academic knowledge, but practical understanding gained through years of hard work. Her chosen course was business management. She wanted to understand systems, learn how businesses operate, create opportunities for herself and others like her. Each lecture was a step towards a better future. Tommy's school performance had improved too. Seeing his mother study inspired him. He would sit beside her during evening study sessions, doing homework, creating a shared learning environment. Their small apartment had transformed into a mini learning center. Financial challenges hadn't disappeared completely, but the scholarship provided a foundation. Emma could now focus on learning, on growing, on creating opportunities. Her determination had become her most powerful tool. The other students respected her. A working mother pursuing education wasn't common, and Emma's commitment was inspiring. She represented hope for many who thought education was beyond their reach. Jack continued supporting her journey. He had become more than just a cafe manager, he was a mentor, a supporter of her dreams. His belief in her had been crucial in her initial application. Winter turned to spring, and Emma's confidence grew. Academic subjects that once seemed intimidating now felt manageable. She was learning not just course material, but valuable life skills, strategic thinking, problem solving, communication. Tommy watched his mother's transformation with wonder. The stressed, tired woman who worked multiple jobs was becoming a confident, educated professional. He was learning that education could be a powerful tool of transformation. Her final semester project focused on supporting working-class mothers in education. Emma wanted to create systems that made learning more accessible. Her personal experience became her greatest research tool. The college recognized her potential. Professors suggested she consider further studies, perhaps even a more advanced degree. Opportunities that once seemed impossible were now realistic possibilities. Manchester itself seemed to celebrate her journey. Local newspapers had featured her story, a testament to the city's spirit of resilience and community support. Emma represented countless untold stories of determination. On graduation day, Tommy stood beside her, bursting with pride. Her family, a small but powerful unit of two, had achieved something remarkable. They had transformed their circumstances through education and unwavering belief. Jack attended the graduation, representing the community that had supported her. His presence was a reminder that success is rarely achieved alone. It takes a network of support, small kindnesses, and collective belief. Emma's graduation wasn't just a personal achievement. It was a message to Tommy, to other struggling mothers, to her community. Education could break cycles. Dreams were possible. Hard work could transform lives. As she received her certificate, Emma looked at Tommy. Tears mixed with joy, a silent communication passing between mother and son. They had done this together. They had rewritten their story. The world looked different now. Opportunities that once seemed distant were now within reach. Emma's journey proved that with determination, support, and education, anything was possible. A new chapter was beginning. And they were ready to embrace it. The end.